When setting up this lab, we're going to take just normal tape, get out about a 15 centimeter length, tear it off. We're going to create a tab, so that way it's easier to get off the counter. Just fold that little bit over at the end. And then we will set it on the counter and then press down. This right here is going to be our table tape. That tape should be on the table for the entirety of this lab. Then, with the same tape, we are going to pull off another segment. And here, we are going to do the same thing. We are going to place it down and make sure we leave room for a tab at the end. Make it easier to pull up or down. And press it down to seal. This is going to be our bottom tape. So I'm going to label the bottom of that tape with a capital B, so that way I remember that is a bottom. I'm going to take another piece of tape of the same length, more or less at least, set it down directly over the bottom tape, press down to seal, and create a tab. This will be the top tape. So I'm going to label the bottom of that tape with a capital T, so that way I can remember that is our top tape. Now that I have my table tape down, on top of that is the bottom tape, and on top of the bottom tape is the top tape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab both of those tabs I created for the top and the bottom, and I'm going to pull up. So right now, the top and the bottom tape are stuck together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two tabs and I'm going to pull them apart. After these two are separated, I need to make sure that I do not touch the bottom or the top tape to anything. So right now I have my bottom tape and my top tape. If it touches your hand, that's okay. You can just reset the lab. So put the bottom tape back on, put the top tape back over this. As long as the tapes are still sticky, you can repeat this as many times as you need to. Grabbing my two tabs again, pulling up. Grab my two tabs, pull apart. And if that happens again, just keep trying to do this. A good way to try to avoid having that tape stick to your hands is trying to avoid a drafty area. So if the people in your lab group are walking around, ask them to stand still. Okay, third time should be the charm. Pull up my bottom top tape, and then separate these two. And what I'm going to do with these right now is I'm going to put these on my table, so that way I can use those as my top and the bottom. And that's going to be the apparatus we have. We have our bottom, our top tape. I've already set up my foil and my paper. You'll need to do this when you do this lab. So after you have the top tape and the bottom tape set up on your tabletop, as well as the foil and the paper, you're going to need to repeat the process to create a top and a bottom tape again. Right here, I have another tape that I had for my top. So what you'll do is you will have it so that way the non-sticky side is going to be right next to the non-sticky sides of the other materials. You will slowly move your piece of tape up and notice any interaction we have. So I'm going to move my T next to the bottom. Ooh, it seems to be moving towards that. In our data table, we can write down that that is going to be either a strong attraction, weak attraction, repulsion, or no interaction. I'd say for that one, since it wants to really go forward, that will be a strong attraction. When I try to move it towards the other top tape, it seems to be pushing that away. I would say that that one could probably be a repulsion. We're going to do this with all 4 of these materials, and then we will repeat it for each new one. So write down what you see, top to bottom. Ooh. Write down what you see, top to top. Top to foil. And then finally, topped paper. So that was going to be the top tape. We should now have 4 entries: the interaction between the top tape and the bottom, interaction between the top tape and the top, interaction between the top tape and the aluminum foil, and then finally interaction between the top tape and the piece of paper. Now I have the bottom, the B has started to fade off. Rotate it so that way the non-sticky side is going to be close. Starting off with bottom to bottom. And the interaction, that's what I'd like you to write down. Bottom to top, and the interaction, that's what I'd like you to write down. Bottom to the foil, and then bottom to the paper. Next, I have another piece of aluminum foil that I'm going to be doing the same thing for. So, the aluminum foil to the bottom, the aluminum foil to the top, the aluminum foil to the aluminum foil, and then the aluminum foil to the paper. The next thing that will go into our data table will be an interaction between a piece of paper and those 4 pieces of hanging materials. So the piece of paper and the bottom tape, piece of paper and the top tape, piece of paper and the aluminum foil, piece of paper and the piece of paper. Now, those will be the 4 materials we have hanging up. There will be a 5th row in our data table, and that will say black rod. This right here is our black rod. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rabbit fur, which is just synthetic, fake rabbit fur, and I'm going to rub the black wand over the rabbit fur. So a little bit of vigorous rubbing, and then we can see how this interacts. The black wand with the bottom tape, the black wand with the top tape, black wand with the aluminum foil, and then finally the black wand with the paper. Once again, black wand with the with the bottom tape, black wand with the top tape, black wand with the foil, and then black wand with the paper.